So with the Fall 28 updates to Google Classroom, there are a number of changes that you're going to need to be aware of. First off, most of these changes only apply to new classes. So if you're thinking of reusing a class from a previous year, some of these options won't be available. So you might want to start off fresh. The biggest example of this is the separation of the streams into classwork and discussion. As you'll see here, if we go into an older class, you have your stream and your people. The about has moved over here to find that content. Whereas if we head into a new class, you'll be able to see the stream, classwork, and people. So that's the big difference. You're going to want to start with a new class. Obviously that's the first big change. We have the stream and classwork. In the stream now, that's where announcements basically live. So you will be able to use your class discussions and announcements just like always. You would add that here. But assignments and quizzes will be in the classwork section, and that's where the biggest change happens. Now, one thing to note is that when you do post assignments and questions, you'll still get an announcement in the stream. However, you don't have to add it here. It just is put there for you when you add a piece of classwork. Let's go take a look at the classwork. You'll see here the first big change is that there are sections that are organized. These sections are based on the topics that you had in the previous version. So when you create a topic such as language arts, now anything you tag with that topic will end up in this container or in this section. These sections can be organized. You can move them up, move them down, delete them, and rename them. So that's the first big change, is that those topics make it much easier to organize content. In this example, a unit, assignments, resources for the class, maybe some language arts assignments. So it'll be up to you to kind of determine how you want to organize those topics based on how you run your classrooms. Second change here is that the create buttons move to the top. And as you can see, you've got your assignments and your questions and your new topics. As always, you can reuse posts from previous classrooms and classes, but you'll definitely be putting them in the correct area now. The people section has also changed a little bit in that you'll notice here that the co-teaching and student section is now combined. So this is where you would go to add a co-teacher or add students by email. If you want to add all of your students through the enrollment code as usual, that's actually back here. If you head back just to your landing page here, you'll actually find that information in the About section. And the About section is really small now. It's really just this class code, which you can, again, make larger on the screen for your class. But the ability to have that resources section in About is no longer here. So what that means is you'll have to find a new home for those resources if you were using that. One option is to do something like this and create a topic called resources and list those resources in here. Or to potentially, maybe have resources listed as an assignment and then have like a link to a Google Drive folder that might house all those resources. Students would then access that way through a shared folder. Another little change here is you'll see here that your in stream, your saved or scheduled announcements will be at the top as usual. So you can release them whenever you would like or on a schedule. However, in the classwork, it actually places the assignment or question in the topic, if it's in a topic, and in line with the other items based on their posting date. So you could have post ahead 3 or 4 different things and they'll remain grayed out until when they're scheduled for or when you release them. So it just shows them in chronological order. As always, your calendar for your classroom and your Drive folder are listed here at the top, so you can go ahead and grab them or open them from there. But other than that, the same features, just with a little bit different use of topics. So if you do use Classroom heavily, you're going to want to get in there early and consider starting a new class if you would like to use these features. They may move over to the older classrooms, but at this point, I would probably maybe start fresh with this year, and it would help you out a little bit. Again, if you have any questions or you need some support with this, just contact any member of the TIPS team and we would be happy to help you out as you work through using the new Google Classroom to the 2018 school year.